It's Saturday, December 17th, 2016, about 7:30 a.m. I'm in the middle of Interstate 84 at the Multnomah Falls parking area. That's Multnomah Falls in front of me. Just thought I'd come by in the winter. It's been below freezing for about a week here. So you notice there's quite a bit of ice along the falls. One thing you'll notice, the trees ahead of me, they would normally have leaves on them. So if you come here in the summer, you're not going to be able to have this view really at all because there would be just leaves blocking your view. So you notice all over the gorge here, there's just ice everywhere. It's like there's frozen waterfalls where you wouldn't even normally expect any waterfall. I'm standing on the sidewalk. So this is the parking area. During the summer, it often has a full parking lot. Right now, there's only 3 cars in this parking lot. The sidewalk here is covered with like 3 feet of snow that have been scooped off the parking lot. So it's a little bit tricky getting here. Obviously, it's not ADA compliant, but if you're good at walking, you should be able to have no trouble. If you came here for hiking, you shouldn't be able to have any trouble getting around. It's kind of nice here though, because with standing on 3 feet of snow, I can actually see better. Normally from the parking lot, you're so low, Interstate 84 blocks the view of the falls. So to my right there's a tiny little canyon. I think there's a waterfall back there, but I don't think I've seen it. It's always obstructed by the trees. And then, of course, that's Multnomah Falls. There's the big part up there, and then there's a little tiny bridge, and there's more fall below it. You can't see it right now. And then there's another frozen waterfall right there. So let me go ahead and keep on going here. Temperature's below freezing right now. Not sure what it is, but I would expect it to be about 25 degrees. Just a meager amount of wind, not too much of a wind chill. Here. You can see by that garbage can how deep it's buried, how deep the snow is. So this ramp here to the right, this is the way down to take a pedestrian tunnel underneath Interstate 84. Covered with ice and snow, you think it'd be pretty slippery, but it's got enough unevenness that it's actually not too bad. As long as you got decent shoes or boots, walking through here won't be much trouble. This is officially open 24 hours a day, but the restrooms are not, so you might want to go potty before you get here. Here's the pedestrian tunnel. Notice somehow the snow has all managed to build up on the east side. I don't know if that's from the wind or what. Go ahead and walk here. Kind of pretty here. I was actually here a while, but my camera doesn't have good low light performance, so I waited for some daylight before shooting this video. So here's another view. You can just barely see the lower falls there beneath the bridge. Obviously we got the Union Pacific Railroad blocking the view. So before I go over there though, check out the waterfall. Here's Multnomah Creek. That's how Multnomah Falls gets its name. As you probably guessed, in the summer it's not usually covered in snow and ice like this. I'm not going to attempt to walk on that ice. Obviously it's only about an inch thick. I'm sure it's thin enough that I could get myself very cold trying to walk out on that. But you notice how there's obviously a lot of water flowing under the ice. That water's only like 6 inches deep, but they don't want people playing in there because there's like salmon eggs and stuff. They don't want people disturbing the salmon runs. So notice along the walkway here, they have some sort of bags here, so it's easier for people to walk on the sidewalk without accidentally sliding into the creek. Obviously, with that little slope there, if you were to fall into this creek, it'd be a bit tricky getting out. Obviously, that water's ice cold. Wouldn't be particularly pleasant. So this here, like I said, Union Pacific Railroad bridge, built 1907. Let's see here. Notice here, it's frozen entirely across. So if it were thick enough, you could walk across. I'm pretty sure it's less than 2 inches thick. So I'm definitely not going to be attempting that. Notice how uneven it is though. I don't know where all that snow came from. If a snowplow pushed it over or people threw it over or what. Somehow that snow got over there. Notice they scooped off a little bit of walkway here. Makes it a little easier to walk, but I think it's actually more slippery. I'd prefer they just leave it, but whatever. So here's a walkway to the US 30 parking lot, one of them. Here's the old bridge for the Highway 30, the old Highway 30. It's a pretty little bridge, and again, it's obviously iced over a bit. Let me look back here at the Union Pacific Railroad. Wow, so I'm gonna pan down so you can see the water here is only like 1 foot deep, and it's very, very clear. But in those gravel beds, that's where salmon lay their eggs, so you shouldn't play in this water here. You want to play in the water, I'm sure the Columbia would be a lot warmer anyway. Let's see, so what's that say? By rail, 35 miles to Portland, 177 miles to Tacoma, Washington, 210 miles to Seattle, Washington, 173 miles to Pendleton, Oregon, 305 miles to Spokane, I think that's Washington, and 393 miles to Boise, Idaho. Unfortunately, there's no passenger stop here anymore, so that's all theoretical. Wow, notice in the US 30 parking lot over here, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 12 cars, a dozen cars already. It's 7:30 in the morning in the winter. So you notice the parking lot's pretty well scooped up, but there's a nice pile of ice. I'm actually gonna take advantage of that. I'm gonna hike to the top here. I'll show you why in a second. So notice on top it's a bit flat and slippery, so I'm not going to actually go to the very tippy top here. I'm just going to get near it. So yeah, now we're here, we're up high enough to actually watch the railroad, so this would be a good place to watch trains go by. Obviously they have a little fence here to keep trespassers off, but no sign of trains. There was a westbound train that went by about half an hour, but I have no idea when the next train will be here. So I'm going to very carefully try to fall back down without getting a Darwin Award. So now I'm going to walk across US 30. There's even a crosswalk here. There goes a snowplow, but he's not plowing. Real helpful. Anyway, so I'm going to stop here and look around so you can see. So there's the actual falls. You notice how there's ice all along it where it's next to the rock. But there's also ice parallel to it there, ice parallel to it there, etc. So there's a lot of ice. Okay, there's no cars coming, so I'm crossing the crosswalk here. Obviously, pedestrian has the right of way, but in this weather, I'm going to play nice. Okay, so here we are. So here's the lodge, and there you can see a tiny bit of waterfall up there flowing right in that ice. That's why there's so much ice, because there's plenty of water coming down. So here's the lodge. Unfortunately, the restrooms are not open, except when the restaurant's open. So, yeah, good luck finding a place to go potty around here. Notice they have a trail cleared off, but if I'm going to fall down, I'd rather fall on snow than pavement. So I'm going to get over here off the walkway. There's a sign there that says, "Be careful." Wow, now they tell me. Caution when using the trail. Huh, well, that's easy then. I won't use the trail. Problem solved. All right. So there we go again. There's a view at the lower falls. I'll be getting closer to that in a bit. I just want to come over here and look at the creek. This would be a good place for a camera with a zoom too, actually. So here's the creek. Notice the cool flow marks. So you got the creek, but you got nice big pieces of ice sitting in there. I'm not sure what's keeping them from floating away, if they're stuck on rocks or what. It's kind of cool, actually. So you notice I'm not the only person here taking pictures and video. Since it's open 24 hours a day and it's free, convenient location, etc. Very popular places to take pictures from amateurs